Have a tears. Come in like cheddar, me a go spray money. Like Kennedy, I give me a go take your girl away. Selector, play me patika from Chagi. Selector, GMJBT, I give a buatu. Pa, skeleton. Selector, patika from Chagi. Selector, GMJBT, I give a buatu. Pa, skeleton. I'm in the movie. Once every girl in a motion. Why not? Don't run no boogie. Come na booty pan replay. Move it. Once every girl in a motion. Why not? Don't run no boogie. Come na booty pan replay. I miss a move it. Once every girl in a motion. Why not? Don't run no boogie. Come na booty pan replay. Move it. Once every girl in a motion. Why not? Don't run no boogie. Come na booty pan replay. Go, gaga, go, back, go, gaga.
Okay, here we are again. It's a Friday, and you know how we do it. I thought you were going to do a Newsfile UK. Anyway, right, good morning. Yes, I don't think I have made any mistake. We're here for another breakdown of the weekly events, which we bring to you almost every Friday between 9 and 12. But bear with us. I think we're getting a bit accustomed of the time as we've been more late lately. But it's my pleasure to host you to talk about most of the issue that has transpired over this week. I want to say thank you for joining us. I'm going to start off the show very soon.
That tune ya there pan fire. Same how my girl body pan fire. She is a limited edition higher. Never have an interest in a no buyer. Let me say, in a no buyer. Well then, to all she pretty young thing. She the whole of them are desire. In our lane. Would they are 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 in our lane. Promise on my honor. I like time to be the only one in the corner. You never give me bonus. All the rest of them I do what they want. Oh, you know we're not competition with nobody. Oh, we never do things that don't hurt somebody. Oh, no matter what they say, whatever they do, we just make them know say. Would they in our lane? Would they in our lane? Would they in our lane?
If you know the talk will make you dead, you won't make a talk will make a leave you. You see you not like making all the paper. If you know they get, nobody will give you. But see where they want it, where they beat your mind. Money go answer the question. I could have made another thing, be the truth, your life. Answer the question. Then they got already to go do for the dollar. You go do for the dollar.
Okay, so this week, let's see what we've got. I've actually decided to talk about the my black horse, wish that Oforiatta goes away, and then he's not seeing any impact the man is making on the country. What is your take on it? And in Nigeria, there's a lot of whether to term it a civil war or not. Civil war or military war, we'll see how it's going to go. I'm waiting for my panel, Mr. Odupong, who's going to help me break down the issues that we're going to get our callers involved and all this. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. You don't need an introduction. And then very soon, I've got Jima, who's going to be on the Dr. Morton show very soon. Watch out for that one as well.
Oh my baby, make I know waiting to go do for the dollar. You go do for the dollar. You go down and do for the dollar. Oh my baby.
What you go do for the dollar? Me and my team, we full of ballers. You can't war with us, you can't call us. You can't stand with us, we stand tallest. I hear my smile for the grind. Snap, snap, smile for the cam. Don't slack, can't make you dance. Front, back, this be a chance. Beat nail and tasty of me. Get busy of me. Shoot, wasty of me. Swooping, you always to me.
You go do for the dollar. You go down and do for the dollar. Oh my baby, make I know what you go do for the dollar. You go do for the dollar. Oh yeah.
Adina. You're welcome to the world of piracy. Let them know say you're mine, oh, eh. I go choose you over design, oh. Too Bobby. I'll make you my baby, so make me your lady, yeah. Correct, oh, correct. For better, for worse, see you.
Right, so my big panel, Mr. Odupong, who I've not seen for about 2 weeks, is here. Very soon, we're going to go live and then on the topics that, I have outlined from last night. And then we start the show very, very soon. I think that'll look good this morning. It's Friday anyway. From here, we're going to Kate Cafe to enjoy some banku fufu and all that. Mr. Odupong has brought a lot of money, but trust me, it's very, very sad to have realized that, especially Nigeria, the war that should have, been dialogued or talked about, that has led to the fact that people are losing their lives because of misunderstanding. How long are we going to, continue like this, especially in Africa? And then what's happening with Ukraine and Russia? And Mr. Ablakwa is asking Ufuriata to go. What do you think? Do you agree with him? Do you second? Do you subscribe to his idea? Do you think the man needs more time to deal with monetary issues? Or you think it's about time we let go of the family affair and family and friends affairs?
Correct, oh, correct. For better, for worse, see you do it, yeah. Correct, oh, correct. For better, for worse.
Yeah.
Put some respect when you mention my name.
Yeah.
DJ Latet. You want some? Come get some.
Ate, semeno kata, na yechi enia, na do sani na me bwana me tote. Mame 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, tida ta. Mano 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, tida ta. Like the way you wind it for me, cocky. Let me go. You're so pretty naughty. How do you when your body calling me? And it's crazy. You're such a party. Hey, Pepe Mariano. Give it to you, baby. DJ. I could have, baby. Around tonight. I'm feeling so high on lines. I could take the sky. Yeah, all day. Some men no matter. Na ya chenia. Na do sunny na me bwana me tote. Mame 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Tida ta. Mano 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Tida ta. I'm a penny idea. Dada Masua, Yawa, brother, one cocoa. I see my Yamadi day. Your money no they reach, but you want to eat. I see my Yamadi day. Your money no they reach, but you want to eat.
Okay, so I've got messages coming in already. I've got Francis who's saying he actually agrees with what's his name, Ufuriata to go. But the question as to why, this man has been seen as a family or tagged as a pivot in the family of this current government is because I just want to know whether it's the positions acquired or give most of this particular family members, is that why they think it should go? Well, the thing is, if it's actually delivering or is performing as required from him, I don't see any why we should then have a problem with that. But what is your view to this? Is it the fact that the man is not delivering? Just tell me. This is what I want to know. If he has to go, then all of us will support, including my Odupong, my CEO, all that. We go to Ghana and then vote the man out and then tell him to go. We don't need a family affair and friends affair, nepotism, or name them.
I don't go give up on you. 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 Baby, I dey eye for your body. You dey make I dey feel so jolly. Baby, now you behind me. Oh, baby, tell me why me. Baby, I dey eye for your body. You dey make I dey feel so jolly. Baby, now you behind me. Oh, baby, tell me why me.
Keep the party jumping now live in the mix.
I really wanna make a time to you tonight. Show you the ones you can't tell me, yeah. I picture the things I go do to you tonight. If I show the run for me, yeah. Oh, baby, go back up. No more trouble, now if you say you want me, you're the baby, you wanna see, oh, baby, go back up.
Hey, right. So I think we hang on a minute. I think we time has actually fast spent. So we can start the callers, let's say 10:30, because I've got Odupong to discuss a little bit of a discussion with me about the topics that I've raised. So let me see what Odupong has today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
And how are you?
I am very well indeed. And how are you too?
Yeah, not too bad. How come we can't see Odupong on the screen? I thought we meant, okay, later on, maybe from next week, we work that out. But the topics that I have raised, I believe that, can you get the mic close and then come forward a little bit? What I want to know is, you've seen the topics that we discussed. First of all, my most concern is, about the British that are sentenced to death. I don't know if you've seen the story. The two British separatists that are sentenced to death. Have you gone through at all? Have you read anything about it?
Well, good morning to our listeners, and good morning to everybody anywhere reaching you this morning. Well, I haven't read much into what is happening in Soviet Union or Russia, as we know, because for me, I think it's not an African issue.
Oh, you just like Joe. He say I agree with you. We don't need all that. But
Yes.
I am only trying to, structure this program in a sense that we don't only limit it to, the issues of Africa. It's Africa Radio is going international and beyond our borders. But anyway, let's come down to what's the name? Mr. Blackwell's issue of Ken Ufuriata.
Yes.
with your assessment
Mm.
until this particular decision suggested by one person, this is not a collective agreement that has come up, whether the House is minority is going to be in support of that.
Mm.
How do you assess Kenny Oforata's, dealing so far?
Well, I think Abrakwa is right in a way to be demanding the head of Ken Oforiatta because he hasn't been performing. He hasn't performed very well at all. He's tried to put things in place, but there's a lot of selfishness and greediness along the way. It's like you trying to build a house for a particular people, and that's not helping the country. The country needs a manager, a finance minister whose policies is going down to benefit everybody, but not just a few or family and friends.
Yes, I was actually coming to that. Do you see the family and friends in his dealings? You see that? Is it just the mere fact that he's got most of the family members in the positions, or what makes you think like that?
Well, it's not me thinking like that. It's what most Ghanaians are feeling.
But majority is not always the case, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but the majority carries the vote in the end. So it's what Ghanaians are feeling in the sense that his policies is looking at how will the people surrounding the government will benefit themselves. Okay.
Do you think it's something that they're going to find it very easy, perhaps even if they have to vote? Or I don't think the very man in charge, Mr. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, this man, he is a member of this family. Do you see any friction there at all?
No, there's no friction at all.
You think it's going to be that easy?
There's no friction there at all, in the sense that he appointed his cousin as the finance minister. Okay. And given so far, the cousin has got a free right to do any policy. I'll say any policy in terms of the economy, the financing the country. Okay. So when people are going to talk about, we need him to go, if this man is not listening or pretending to be sleeping, it is falling on deaf ears. Okay, so the question is, shouldn't we wait until the whole lot is gone?
That's when we can tell.
That's the only option we have, because the more you're talking about, this hasn't done that, this hasn't done that. How many years have people been talking about?
For quite some time now.
Exactly.
I believe that. Okay, so let me read a bit of the lead story. Normally you do that. I know that I don't want to take you, on the spot. So I'm going to read that myself. Okay, so it goes on to say that the Member of Parliament MP for North Tongu has called on Parliament to initiate processes to remove Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta from office. Samuel Okojeto Ablakwa said this has become necessary due to his supervision of some budgeted funds that were released, okay, that were released towards the construction of the National Cathedral. Is it the fact that people are not very happy with the cathedral? I heard St. George, who was saying that the cathedral is making issue is making them uncomfortable. It's a way of expressing their displeasure over the whole issue when it comes to prioritizing very important issues.
Yes.
What do you, cathedral? You see, what my take is this. If Akufo-Addo has this idea of establishing a cathedral,
yes,
in amidst the fact that he's actually expressing his gratitude to God for coming into power, I believe this is a sole idea and an individual concept. But then, how many people also want cathedral to be there in Ghana, especially when we have so many important things like the basic facilities that it's always been the case, the hospitals and the roads and all that. When it comes to cathedral and its importance, I'm going to open the phone lines very soon. I know that people are ready because we were far ahead of time. We're not going to wait till 1 o'clock.
That's right.
And then, so you can start calling, and then as Odupong would like to break it down with your view of what the cathedral means to the country.
Well, personally, I don't see anything wrong with the cathedral. Okay.
You don't see anything wrong with the cathedral?
Yes. That's why I said personally. I know people have been bashing the head of Nana Akufo-Addo,
right?
You know, but as you said,
right,
if it's a personal thing, then probably he should have fork out the money for it from his own pocket.
Okay.
Okay. But it's something that could be done for the nation. Yeah. Because have we looked at what the benefits will be in terms of if it's properly constructed and used in the plans they have set they have set for the cathedral.
Right.
Okay. I have nothing against that.
Right.
The other thing I have against is why they have to travel to Israel and go and collect a stone to come and lay foundation. But that is something I can't understand. Those are the two things.
That's all you don't seem to understand.
Yes, but in terms of the money to be spent, and because there are certain things that can be heritage. It can be a legacy. Okay. You might not get the benefit today, which is what most Africans, most Ghanaians are against.
Okay.
Everything we want it now. But we don't think about the future.
And so do you think the people have thought of who, let's say, will replace or will be in place after somebody to succeed or his successor before they making this trying to find out whether he has to leave or not? Because I believe that before you make any arrangement at all, you must have something else in place. Anybody that comes in mind, you think we can assume this position apart from Kettle Federata? Well, we're yet to find out that, but you can still reach us on 020-863-86239 or 075-3399-8090 or 073-7540-2446. And then we can get talking. If you're listening to me, you want to send me a message, we're still here. And then I read it to the hearing of the listeners, and then we can take it from there.
That's right.
Right. So another issue that last week came over, I'm trying to get David, who I haven't, heard from him yet. He's always giving me the information about the latest development. If there's something to add to this, then we can listen to him if he's available this morning. I only hope we can get him. And then, right. So, David. Okay, so it's ringing. Let me see if we can get him. Last few weeks. Yes, good morning, sir.
Can you give me like 10 minutes, please?
Yes, I can give you 10 minutes. No problem at all. Come back to us when you're ready. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so I've got, hopefully, hold on. I think I've got Joe. Joe is, whether anti Akufo-Addo or not, well, he said he doesn't, Joe says he doesn't hate Akufo-Addo, but at least when the man, that's a good thing. He's going to say it. When the man is wrong, he's also going to say it. I know he was good. I thought he was going to be the second to call, apart from Segabo, who normally sends me issues to read prior to or before the program starts. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Doc.
How are you?
Oh, by God's grace, we are managing.
Thank you. We're managing the government at first.
This government, it affairs can never be managed,
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Whatever he says. One thing, you see, Akufo-Addo, one thing I like about him, I said, let the people talk, let me do my job.
Exactly.
When the Sewa Bruni's issue came over, you remember a lot of people were sending messages, the insults and all that. Then the man did not utter a word. So
yeah, he just doesn't. He don't give a shit about who you are.
No. This word, you have to watch your word. Your uncle Sir Gabo have said it. We don't need those words on the radio. It's too early. Anyway, you're live on air.
First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. And we thank God for another Friday. A good morning to your listeners and those watching you.
Mr. Odupong is back as my panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So good morning to everyone. Mr. Gabo, Mr. Kitios, and I know they will be listening.
Yes, they are.
First of all, let me put this on record. For me as a person, I disagree with the issue of family and friends. That notion, we need to kind of rubbish it. Because look, we need to modify that term. Because Okujato Blackwa, Haruna Idrisu, whoever, whether in NDC or MPP, when that political party,
oh my dear, David, I think he said I should give him 10 minutes so he can call from Ghana, update us with the latest development. But he's calling now. Joe, if you want to do me a favor, can I call in so you can also listen to the latest development before we come to the discussion? With all humility,
okay,
please.
All right, no problem. All right.
Thank you for your understanding. Thank you very much. Okay. So let me get David, who is going to give me his thoughts on this, going to give us the latest development. And then we can take it from there. Right. Thank you, CEO, for getting me a cup of tea. This is the only station where you work, you can get a cup of tea.
From your CEO.
From this. From the CEO.
Yes.
Oh, David. I don't want to believe you made me cut Joe for no reason, because I really oh, okay. It's ringing. I want to believe he's hearing. You know, the thing with... Okay, I'm coming.
phone voicemail.
Good morning, Dr. Good morning, the man of the year. That is David Tamaklo. He's very adamant. He's very focused. He's very poised in his stories. Is more of the main epitome and pivot and the definition of a fearless journalist.
Thank you. That's for the compliment.
That's fine.
Coming from you.
Yeah, I do appreciate your time and the fact that you're always available, especially even if I put you on the spot. You're able to, find a way around, whether to excuse your very important agenda of the day, still, come to us. Good morning, and you're welcome on Friday. This is the UK's Newsfile UK. And then you want to update us about any latest development, please. You're live on air.
Thank you. Good morning to your listeners and viewers. I hope that day. How did the Queen celebration go?
The Queen's celebration, Odupong or Mr. Odupong traveled. I was here, and unfortunately, when I was meant to have a cup of tea to celebrate with the Queen, I just had mine. But during the very time when the program was going on, I had kinky. I couldn't bear with the tea that time, so at least it was right. Finally, it's all over, and then we wish the Queen the best after all of this journey of monarchical rule.
Yeah, it's a great. Every celebration is great. It's great. I wish we have to celebrate here as well. It's a very difficult time for us in Ghana. I'm sure even those of you who are outside Ghana, you can feel you can feel probably close to what we are feeling here, or even perhaps more. Inflation, the Bank of Ghana has accepted that inflation is now 26.7%, almost 27. I think that is about 3 points away from what it was just a month ago. It tells you what we've been discussing over the period, that the economy seems to be taking a dip. And unless something radical is done, we are on a very tough ride at the moment. Sadly enough, we've been talking about the managers of the economy. The economy is everything. That's why it looks like everything we discuss, anytime we are having a discussion, it centers around the economy, because it's everything. When people are hungry, nothing really goes on. It becomes a security threat to the nation when people are hungry. When people are hungry, a lot of things, could hardly work. The state becomes more or less dysfunctional if the economy goes bad. That's why it appears everything is one way or the other linked to the economic trajectory. So yeah, sadly, I don't want to take the wheel out of your sail. I'm sure we're going to raise some topical issues for us to discuss.
I mean, what here we seems to be much concern since Ofereta has become the very epitome or the pivot of all financial affairs. We're much concerned, if you like, about the fact that Okoja to Ablakwa. I know this is not a collective idea. Perhaps they must have discussed this within the minority as to whether to vote against him to leave, or your thought about the fact that this is a family affair business, you know, whether the nepotism or do you sense that as well? Do you feel that is what we experience in Ghana?
Well, did you say that Operata is the pivot? I don't think he is. I think that he's a wreckage. He's a wreckage of our economy.
Oh, so the pivot. What I mean is the money.
I think you have been too charitable.
You find my word understatement and think wreckage is the best word he deserves.
I think it's a wreckage. I mean, Dr. Morton, there is no better way to assess this gentleman and perhaps his appointer than to look at the way things have turned around from 2017 when the government took power till date. And sadly enough, as though the president perhaps is seeing things differently from the way every other person is seeing it, he's still being kept there.
Right.
And it is seen mostly as an insult to democracy. It's seen as a betrayal of the trust of Ghanaians in Akufo-Addo. Look, how do you keep a gentleman who has obviously failed and obviously have no idea, no clue how to manage an economy, for 7 years? He kept giving us, well, let me say 6 years, is it? He kept giving us, preaching Bible, preaching faith, when he's supposed to be talking about how, his economic policies are affecting things. He will give you, wrong figures in the first place, and he will come and back it with Bible quotations and tell you that, you have to keep hope, keep faith. I mean, who runs the economy like that? As a finance minister, Ofereta's company, which he used to own prior to this government taking office, was known mostly as Data Bank. At the time of taking office, Data Bank was almost collapsing. Today, Data Bank, and if I may say, and its managers are richer perhaps than the nation Ghana. I mean, you have a situation where the man said that they are not going to introduce tax. They are not going to be a tax managing government.
Okay.
And that they are going to be a government that will push production to the epic. Look, what do we see today? Taxes have swallowed us everything. In Ghana today, we buy fuel, at about 10 cities and something a liter.
Right.
Okay. And in our neighboring our neighboring Togo and Ivory Coast, it is bought at half the price we buy it in Ghana.
Okay.
The rest of the components is all taxes. I mean, how do we have such a person? Look, you are imposing e-levy on Ghanaians under the excuse that there is no money to pay for salaries, there is no money to do construction, there is no money to invest in the economy. Yet, you are cutting almost 200 million Ghana cedis to do a cathedral. 200 million Ghana cedis is what you are investing into cathedral. How does that make sense?
Well, tell me about it.
How does that make any sense? So I mean, as for the call for Oforiate's resignation, I think is long overdue, because if you can go to, I mean, spelled out. If government is going to make any expenditure, if government is going to introduce tax, it has to go to Parliament. There's only Parliament, per Article 174, which has such control to pass any financial regulation, be it appropriation or whatever you can think about. It is only Parliament which has that mandate. So how do you go to Parliament and say that, please, I want 100 and what's the name? I want 82 million or so for to spend on government at the presidency, and you end up spending over 200 million without Parliament's knowledge. That is criminal.
You think it needs to be prosecuted?
That is criminal. In any serious country, we cannot have people like this, in government. There would have been an uprising. Thankfully, Ghanaians are very patient and, are very hopeful that we can use the ballot box to make these changes, except that sometimes it's quite long and a lot of damage would have been caused. But we have no option at this moment than to wait. But once we wait, we can continue to press on the president, in whom we have vested all our powers, to do the needful and remove the people he appoints to serve this country.
I can see, my man, you're disappointed.
The president is about getting to 80 years old now. He may have about 20 years or more to live, but he would definitely not have the strength he used to have, or he probably has now.
Of course, that is a fair deal.
This life, I believe, should have been invested in the future of this country. And if you ask what the future of this country is, what investment is being made into it, it is debt that we are going to be paying. The future of this country, who are the youth, they are going to, in the next couple of years, be faced with debt burden. So instead of, using money, investing in infrastructure and building this country, they are going to have to be borrowing or look for money to pay debts. By then, the Akufo-Addo and his cliques, if they are not, called by God, they would be weak. They will be very, very weak. They would not have the hand and the energy to help us do that. Most of these appointees, and even most of them are on what's the name? Health medical centers already. If you look at them and if you see, how much they are spending on medical bills, they are medical sentences already. So definitely they will not have what it takes to help the youth of this country rebuild. They are dissipating everything. They are setting up the Japas to mortgage the future of this country. A lot of the fund, a lot of the statutory fund that was set up to be a hedge for the country, to help the country in times of difficulty, have all been mortgaged. They are all in debt. So you pick get fund receivables have been mortgaged to some years ahead of us. So to some years ahead of us, they are not going to be using get fund revenues, the money received by get fund, to build schools or to invest in schools. We cannot, because it has already been mortgaged. When the money comes, it goes to pay some debts.
Yeah.
Same is the what's the name? Oil sector recovery levy, which was set up by Kekwe & Co. That as well has been mortgaged. Every other thing has been mortgaged. Now, if you want to look at industry, which they have promised to come and build, the industry they had promised to build so that people can get jobs, look, they have not built any. The existing ones are collapsing. As I'm speaking to you, in not less than 3 or 4 months, Tor would have collapsed. Tor would collapse in the next 3 months.
Right?
Tema Oil Refinery.
Okay.
By October, Tema Oil Refinery would be no more. And I mean that any capital it has would have gone. It has a capacity of about 50 barrels of oil refinery a day. As we speak, there are 200. It has over 1,000 workers. Over 200 of them who are the technical people who handle the fuel production. About half of them are gone to Oman, outside the country. This country has spent millions of cedis on them to train them, but they are gone because the Tema Oil Refinery has been, branded. Okay,
sad.
So this is what if you go to a place like the recently built one, the Ghana Gas, go and see the number of employees there, family and friends employees who wake up, they come to work, they just sit by their desk, sometimes laugh and go home. They are on good salary. Okay, too many employees, no thinking about how to make it worth the while, as in employ to the capacity of the company and let them produce. It is just job for the boys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it runs through our state institutions.
Odupong, I want to ask you a question if you want to hold on. You want to ask a question? Who's that? Okay, let me get Odupong. Yeah, you're live. Go on, Odupong.
Yes. Good morning to you. It's been a long time. Yeah. Now,
Yes.
You see, you've been analyzing the problem we face today, but it's also got a history of it. Because even though this government is cementing what has been transpiring over the years, because the same thing NDC was doing, the previous government, the same thing they were doing. And we because of that, we handed over to this present government, and they are overdoing it. But there's also the base. Why is it that we do not concentrate, or we do not also focus on the base? Because we're talking about borrowing. Where are we borrowing the money from? Who are managing? Are we the managers of our own economy? We're not.
Okay, I'm all ears. Just get that, and then I will respond to that, please.
We're not managers of our own economy. I believe that even the budget we read is not from us; it's from outside. So how are we going to get it right? This is where the problem is.
Are you there,
David? But the question is, whose fault is it that we are not managing our economy? How do you manage your economy? You manage your economy by producing production. So, for instance, you have vast land, arable land. You grow food on it, and you are able to produce it into finishing product and use those ones instead of importing, so that you don't put too much stress on your CD, and you are able to export what you have. That is how you can manage your economy. If you can't do that, if you are not setting up factories to produce, then certainly, even if the foreigners are not here, they will still be managing the economy from wherever they are, because any time you are importing sugar at about 1 billion cedis a year, you are creating employment somewhere else. You are creating, a wealth for some country.
Exactly.
That is exactly what it is. So So yes, if we are not managing our economy, this is exactly the picture of it. That we are importing virtually everything, including even toothpick. The young people who are trying to set up a little farm, do farming and start getting to some production, even the kenke seller is suffering because he has to depend on the maize to do his kenke. The maize price has gone so high up, and so they have to import the maize from Togo and the neighboring country. Tomatoes is being imported from Burkina Faso. So when you import tomato from Burkina Faso, the farmers in Burkina Faso are getting job, they are getting the money, and you continue to be paying with putting pressure on your city. So it is not surprise at all that in how many months inflation has jumped almost 10 points and over.
Yes. So, David, I agree.
Yes.
I agree with you. Everything you have said, 100%. But in order for us to get it right, we must go back to the basics. We must be looking at the reason.
Don't forget, you and I, we can only share ideas.
Exactly.
We've given power to people to implement the ideas.
Yes.
And until they act, our ideas will only be dreams.
But if they are also constrained, then how are they going to? So that's why I say we have to go back to basics, whereby.
No, but what will constrain a person you have invested power in? Because look, as we are here, yesterday I saw somewhere that they said government is giving a 50% subsidy on agro loans. So for instance, what I surmise it means is that you are going to borrow, say, 50,000 Ghana cedis from ADB. The interest is now, if it's 27 point some, what's the name? It's 19, but the policy rate is 19%. So if your interest you are paying is 19%, they are giving you 50% subsidy. So if you can prove that you're an agro business, you are going to pay, say, 18.5 or so. No, 19.
That does. Well, you consider that as a fair
that's
deal.
half of the interest rate.
You learn from the figure.
How can I consider that as a fair deal? Look, to go for loan in the first place, how do you even get to go? The processing you have to go through to get loan in Ghana here. Not to talk, even if you are paying 5% on that loan, you are taking that loan to go and buy fertilizer that you are paying so much taxes on. You are taking the loan to go and buy weedicides that are so expensive now. Okay, so how do you even? So it's just how do I call it? It's just propaganda, because it's not going to solve any problem. To say that you have given 50% on subsidy on loan interest, it doesn't mean anything for those who understand it.
David, as I said,
Mr. Odupong, I'm sure you understand me.
No, he agrees with you. He's only looking at it. Okay.
David, I said, I understand everything you have said, and I'm with you 100%. Okay? But what I'm saying is, we also need to look at the real managers of our economy. We are not managers of our economy. Furiata is there, probably doing what he's doing, but he's not the real manager of our economy.
That would be very unfortunate.
So
it would be very unfortunate.
That is the situation
for me.
That is the situation. Look, that is the situation we are in. So if we are going to, as I said, give these people the mandate to do things, then we have to be behind them, right, to do the right thing. At the moment, they are not doing the right thing.
Mr. Odupong,
yes.
If I understand what you are saying that we have hired people, giving them power. We are paying them.
And they are misusing our position. I think I don't agree with Mr.
And they are not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay? And then we are supposed to think that there are some managers somewhere. And so until we come in, we the people who have given them the power,
Yes.
we come in, it's not going to work. And it's not like we are not coming in. How do we come in the first place? We come in by sharing ideas. Ghanaians are ready to work. If you go to the hinterlands and you see young men and women in the farm from morning to evening, and who don't even get anything for their sweat.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we can come in with. The rest is policy direction. And per our constitution and our laws, it is only somebody who can take that decision. A person we have voted through democratic processes. And so we cannot make any excuse for them. We cannot. It's as simple as saying that if they cannot do anything, they should pack themselves. And let's find a way to get people who can work. It is not to say that previous government have worked so hard, to understand that we should not be where we are. I mean, if they have all done well, perhaps the MPP government under Akufo-Addo wouldn't have even come to power. But so that we believe we are in democracy and that it is working for us, we must have some people to take responsibility of things. And no one else can than them. Those we are paying their salary. We are paying for the
let me clarify Odupong's whether misconception or what are you trying to say? Are you saying that
I understand him very well.
No, I'm not saying that. Yes, I'm not saying you don't understand. I'm only saying that as Odupong saying that we don't have any right to put them in an accountable position, especially with the fact that we've realized that these are the people we believe they can handle these positions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the president himself, if you look at, especially with the jet issue, when he came over, we kept talking about it. And the man kept flying every day in and day out. It wasn't as safe. He was ready to yield to whether any advice, economical, that will help the country coffers. Do you understand? I mean, aren't we in the position to actually be able to say things we feel as displeasure or to express our discomfort with the way things are going? Are you getting my point, David?
Yes, I do. I do. I mean, basically, it's an issue of accountability. So perhaps that's the point to which I may part with Odupong, Mr. Odupong on the issue of we having to back them and they not being in control of the economy. I think that since they are enjoying some privileges, they must be held accountable for the situations we found ourselves in.
David, I'm not saying they shouldn't be accountable for their stewardship. Of course, they owe us that transparency of doing things. Okay? But I'm also saying that, yes, all their hands, maybe there's a constraint somewhere. And that we, the people, have to lose that constraint for them also to realize that we are not fools any longer. Our eyes are open. We are awake. Okay? As I said, you've analyzed the whole issues very well. And they are aware of it. Okay? But at the same time, why are they playing politics with our lives? They're playing politics with our lives because probably they feel, well, let's do what we think is good for the people. And that's not good enough. You said I lived in the village. I worked on the farm before I traveled out. Yeah. I am aware of the problems we have in the village and how we have to fend for ourselves in order to get water, in order to build our own toilets and so on. I'm aware of all these things. Yeah. Coming to the city of Accra and of London and other cities I've traveled to is different. Yeah. But the biggest problem we have, apart from Ghana, Africa as a whole, other countries are suffering. They are suffering, the people are suffering the same way as we are suffering in Ghana. Because I
beg of you, that is not true.
You don't agree with him?
No, I don't. I don't. I just said an example of Ghana. I mean, Togo, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast. They are buying fuel half the price we are buying it.
And so the people they are not
the price we are buying it.
The people they are not suffering.
If you check their interest rate, I mean, if you are talking about suffering generally, it may mean something. But if you are talking about it in the context we are discussing, i.e., the mismanagement of our economy and the dysfunctional state of our country, I think that we cannot be comparing ourselves to these other countries, which more or less have lesser natural resources than we do have.
Okay, David, I think what I'm going to do is my callers are yearning to come into the conversation. So you want to round up at least, and then let me get them talking, because the issue is very sensitive. They feel their monies are not being handled properly. They have every right to make noise. And then hopefully we'll get to you by next week. Your final word, and then what do you think Ghanaians should do, please?
Well, as the final words, as I can say, Mr. Doc, is that we are getting closely to a point where Ghana may lose its place in the eyes of the international committee as a failed state. If we cannot control the level of corruption in our governance, if we cannot provide the needed job, in spite of the many resources we have, if we cannot have a credible leadership, we cannot have a leadership of sincerity, then we are because look, the issue, I have several reports that are suggesting that our crime the crime situation in our country is going up. And these are factors relative to bad management of the economy to a large extent. I can only say that those of you who have been quiet, not you, I don't mean you,
I understand.
those who have been quiet for long, those who have been making excuses for government because they have relatives in government, or they are somehow benefiting from the people in government, must begin to think more about the future of this country. And it shouldn't matter which government is in power or not. We should all speak out. It is part of the democracy. It is how we all can feel that we belong to a state. Because if no matter how small you are, whether you have been to school or you haven't been to school, whether you have been given a political position or you haven't been given a political position, so long as you can trust in your Ghanaianship, you believe that you are a Ghanaian, you must have a take. You must contribute somehow to the development of this country, and therefore must also question the conduct of people that Ghanaians have vested their powers in.
Thank you very much, David.
And if we do not do this,
okay,
I'm afraid we will remain where we are or even go worse than we are.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
You have a good weekend as usual.
Have a great weekend.
We do appreciate that. Thank you. Right. So you had So you had David, who is Joe Where are you? My good friend Joe couldn't wait. I bet he's got a lot of response to this, and I'm sure say Gabo is writing a lot over this, and then Chairman Yosen is also on the standby. Right, Joe, you must have heard all that David was talking about.
Yeah.
Right, your response, please.
Yeah, and I would like to begin from where he ended. You see, we can ask people to engage in the conversation if the conversation has a genuine topic. If the conversation is something relevant, but if the conversation is all about sack Oforiatta because he's related to the president, excuse me, I will not join in that conversation.
Right.
Because like I was trying to say before he came in, look, Haruna Idrisu, Okudato Ablakwa, Ofusuampofu, Esiedun Ketia, whatever, and in any other political party, when that political party assumes the reins of office, they'll not go and pick their enemies to come and become ministers. It is these friends. Are they not friends?
Well,
the fact that you are not a blood-related, person to the president, you have been made a minister as a result of your friendship with the political party.
Exactly.
So if we
Mr. Odupong agree with you, Joe. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Odupong says he agree with you.
Yeah. So if we are basing the argument on that yardstick, then when NDC assumes the reins of office, we should go and bring people from Togo, because for the people from Togo or Nigeria, they don't have friends in the NDC or MPP. They don't have families in there. We should bring foreigners to come and govern. We should base the argument on the performance. In as much as I agree that yes, Oforiatta must go, I will not support that argument of he is a friend of Akufo-Addo. Yes, I today, given the opportunity, I would want Akufo-Addo sacked. But let us base my argument on this logic.
Okay.
On what basis do I want Akufo-Addo to be sacked? Because I don't know any relations that is above, the presidency that Akufo-Addo is related to. I don't know.
Okay.
So what argument? Am I saying Akufo-Addo should be sacked because, should I say Akufo-Addo is not being sacked because he gave birth to Ghana or because his father gave birth to Ghana? Is that why Akufo-Addo is still in office if I want him to be sacked? If this is the way we want to go, that Oforiatta is not being sacked because he is related to Akufo-Addo or whatever. But don't forget, the health minister is still related to Akufo-Addo. But he has done worse things than Oforiatta. So how then can we ask for his dismissal? Because he's not related to Akufo-Addo and he has done worse things by bringing in a vaccine that we don't even know where it was manufactured from. You see, so I want us to have a genuine discussion. We are too, you see, the sensationalism, the pettiness in our politics is what is killing us.
You reckon?
So much pettiness. Because the argument of someone related to who has, when any of us, when we are getting married, do we go and marry our enemies? Don't you marry those people we are friends with? But I can tell you, my wife, I have an enemy girl who is more nicer, more beautiful than my wife. But I chose my wife because she's my friend. Are you getting it? So
that's a factor.
Who do we want to give the reins of leadership to? Who? To bring our enemies? When India was coming to establish the Jubilee House, was coming to build the Jubilee House for us, we said, look, it is not security-wise because India would have access to the ins and outs of our president, the seat of our president.
Okay.
We made those arguments because we felt tomorrow, if we were to have a diplomatic issue with India, they could use that to attack us. So why today all of a sudden we want people to go and bring their enemies to come and become ministers and all that? Anyway, on the issue of the cathedral, look.
Yes, I was coming to that. Thank you to have switched to that.
Yeah, on the issue of the cathedral, look, let us get the argument in this case also very, very well. This is a personal vow made by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I have no problem with that vow.
Yeah, I think we should have problem with that in the sense that the country does not belong to him alone. Do you understand?
No, you should not have problem with that.
Why not?
When you were going to marry your wife, you said a lot of things. Do you have problem with that? With when we say we are going to wrap a lady, do you have problem when you were rapping a lady? Did you have problem when you were rapping your wife to accept your proposal? You didn't. So why should Nana Addo's own be a problem? It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, you learned.
Where it is a problem is the precedent is certain. If Akufo-Addo vows to give his wife to God, I have no problem with it. It is his wife, so I have no problem. But the precedent is certain. The use of state funds, that is where the problem comes in. So those of us who are arguing that, after all, if he builds the cathedral, it will be for tourists, whatever. Look, Akufo-Addo made a vow, and only only Akufo-Addo alone knows which God he made that vow to. Only he alone knows which God he made that vow to. It might not be the God you and I said. It might not be him. And the fact that tomorrow we might have a leader who is not a Christian. If we are entertaining this, what if tomorrow I, Joe, if I become a president, and I also make a vow to my God that if I become a president, my chief justice and my speaker of parliament, their children and their wives, I'll sacrifice that those family members to that God. What would we then do? What would we do as a nation? Because I also made a vow. So it is a personal vow. Let the Akufo-Addo as the president use his personal belonging. After all, his father has properties. He also has properties. He can sell them in building the cathedral. So, but for using the state resources, I honestly disagree. And then those who are saying we'll make money out of it. Look, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Any tourist will go to a place because of the history surrounding it. No tourist will go to a place because of the beauty of the building or whatever. It is because of the history. Are you getting it? Because
yes,
I don't think we can build the cathedral better than what is in Rome or in Ivory Coast. I don't think we can build a cathedral better than the Buckingham Palace we have here. But someone would go. There are nice houses in East Legon. Am I lying? There are nice houses.
No, you're not.
But people buy a plane ticket to go to Ghana only to go and see Cape Coast Castle because of the history surrounding it. It is not about the beauty of the building, because that building is not beautiful. But it is about the history. Now, what is the history surrounding this cathedral that we are building? What is the history? That the history that someone was so desperate to become president that he promised God that he will build a cathedral, and that's the history. And so I should buy plane tickets for 500,000, 600,000 pounds to go and see this building. Is that the tourism we are promoting? In any case, have we made have we made account for how much we get from the Cape Coast Castle and the fort in Elmina and all that? Have we accounted to the people how much we make so that we can advance the cost of agitating that, look, let us build this cathedral because it is also going to boost the revenue generation in our tourism sector? You see, I beg to differ, but it looks as if we are having case running our country. It looks as if the partisan approach is so much. The partisan, and that is why, in as much as I have so much sympathy, I have so much respect for the NDC, but excuse me, I will not toe every line. I would not toe every line because I believe that unless me, as an NDC member or as an MPP member or as a CPP member, talks about the ills in my party, that is when other people can also be brave to also talk about the ills in their party. But if you are covering yours up, recently, Akufo-Addo Sewabroni issue came out. But those people who were defending Felix Kwacho for what he did, they were talking about Akufo-Addo's own. And they want the MPP to also come and join them in defaming Akufo-Addo, in accusing Akufo-Addo. But when Felix Kwacho's own came, they defended Felix Kwacho. Now let's just take the issue of the IGP and the British High Commissioner. During John Benjamin's time, he was very critical of the NDC, and the hell broke loose. NDC, party bigwigs were all saying, "Look, you are a diplomat. Mind your own business. You have no business in our politics in Ghana. Mind your own business." Today, they are those who are accusing the John Benjamin administration of meddling in Ghana's politics. They are the ones supporting, heaping praises on the British High Commissioner today, and throwing the IGP under the bus. This is our politics, and this is what I've always talked about. Look, Doc, what is right today can never be wrong tomorrow. What is wrong today can never be right tomorrow. We need to have a standard. We need to have a standard. I believe, for me, like when I first called in, I think I was labeled as an anti-Akufo-Addo. I mean, I don't believe Akufo-Addo can do anything better for this country. Because this is a man prior to his presidency. Yeah, you see, when you're talking about Furiata, when you're talking about borrowing and all that, Akufo-Addo, before he became president, he used MPP's headquarters to go for loan. You know that. This man. So what good will come from this man? They say when Saturday is going to be nice, look at Friday night. Someone who has already used the party headquarters to go and borrow money. So I don't see anything good coming from this man. But that is not also to say that
but yes, it will be no, there's a baby one, so you never know.
A baby one, this is already there. You see, but in as much as I don't believe in Akufo-Addo doing anything magical, doing anything better for Ghana, I also think the problems we are encountering today all did not start under Akufo-Addo. All did not start under Akufo-Addo. And so, if I am an NDC member, I am a CPP member, I am a PPP member. First of all, I will ask myself, when I had the opportunity to lead, did I make an impact? Did I steal money? Because look, the corruption that is happening under Akufo-Addo's government now, it has happened before. Right. Look, Akufo-Addo is selling, they say Japan, Rollins, in our own country and all that. Did they not sell everything? Right. Under Rollins. Did they not sell everything? What crime under this administration has never happened to Ghana before? Every crime under this administration has happened under this administration. Business scandal that the NDC is accusing the former head or whatever he's saying. NDC were doing it. NDC were doing it. Talk about Akufo-Addo and Sewa Bruni. We've seen Felix Kwachu, he was a minister of state. Talk about money missing. Okudato Ablakwa. If Okudato Ablakwa has to work hard and earn 100 and something million, would he put in his car boot and take it to a washing bay?
No, dear.
Answer. You understand? So every crime that is happening now has happened before. So let us first of all
there's nothing new under the sun.
Questions. Yes. So we ask ourselves, these things have happened before. Now, what is the way forward?
Yeah. So I've seen some calls coming in. Well, the thing is, all right. I'm not sure of the. Hang on. Yeah, Joe, you land first, and then I can get those who are trying to call. So I'm sorry for those who are trying to call in. When Joe is done, then you can call him back. Then I can pick your call if you're listening. Please. Yes.
I want to be.
It's quite a sensitive issue. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to state that look, for me, I agree. Akufo-Addo needs to go and needs to go fast. The only prayer I am holding now is that Akufo-Addo don't mess things up, that when anyone comes, it can never be repairable. You know what I mean? He can mess things up that if he comes, if anyone else comes, even if we bring Jesus Christ, then the repairing will be very, very hard. But, and there is a big but. That is also not to say, I want Akufo-Addo to go. I am accusing Akufo-Addo of being a criminal or whatever, and then wanting another criminal to come. Then I would want Akufo-Addo to say, if people who want to assume office now have not changed their mind, and like I said, they have seen Sir John's role, and so they have now also started making their own role, then there's no point in me sacking Akufo-Addo. I want the NDC to assure me that when they come, what Akufo-Addo has destroyed, they are going to make it work.
Of course.
If a minister of state, if today you need to pay 10 million to see a minister, I want to see an NDC administration come into power, and if we're a truck pusher, the door is open for you to go and see the minister without asking, who are you? Who is your father? Who is your mother? This is what I want to see.
We put them in accountable positions. Yes,
I'm not just going to support NDC because I feel I am an NDC member, so I should support. I hate MPP, so NDC should come. No, that will never build our country. We will be where we are for 30-something years. These people have been ruling, and the same problem. Every day the same flooding. Every day the same corruption. Every day the same whatever. So where are we going? If you are supporting NDC, support it with a good conscience, support it with accountability, support it with proper, thoughts of Ghana in mind. But don't support it having a thought in mind that when you come, you also have $1 million before you quit politics. That is a shame, and we should not support it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. I can see Raymond was trying to call in. I think the line is available now. You can call. Anyway, Mr. Odupong, you heard Joe.
Yes.
He feels that whoever or whatever you are, when you come, we have to make sure that though we must have put you in place to rule us, we have to hold you accountable and then make sure you're delivering as required from you.
Yes.
What do you make of this?
Well,
You think it's true?
it is very, very true in the sense that why did Rollins killed Ghanaians? Because he felt that there was no accountability. There was no transparency with the government before. Okay?
Hello, good morning, sir. Is that Raymond?
Hello, Dr. Martin. Hello, yeah, it's Raymond.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, it's still morning, so yeah.
Oh, good morning. I thought you were in Ghana.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Odupong, let me take Odupong to task a bit. Odupong said, I must admit, I haven't been listening. I've been in and out, doing some few.
Why you Raymond? Hello, Raymond. You live on it.
Yeah, and Odupong said something that I found very intriguing. He said he hasn't got any problem with the cathedral. Odupong, please. We are in a country where the flagship of this current government is the food that they give. What is it called? Food something to the students.
The school feeding program.
That's right. It's one of the NPP's flagship policy
agenda.
Yes, for crying out loud, it's 97p. Odupong is spending 97p on each student, and even that is in arrears for years, and you don't have any problem. Your personal problem is to build a cathedral. Please, Odupong, come again.
Can I respond to that?
Why not? Yeah, go on.
Good. You quoting school feeding as the reason for not building the cathedral, but at the same time, isn't there other schemes and other policies that the government has put together and running it side by side? So we cannot just take one policy or one scheme and say, oh, this is where we are focusing, and until we finish this, we can't do anything other than that. No. So really, transportation, we all know that we need good roads in Ghana. Yeah? We need hospitals in Ghana. We need good drinking water in Ghana. We need everything that will make our life comfortable. Yes, but it doesn't stop us for also building something as a monument to the nation, or, as I said, a heritage for the nation. Okay? Where I said I have a problem with it is when I am told this is Akufo-Addo's personal project because God had favored on him, and so he has to appease God. Like Joe said over there, do we know that kind of God that he is appeasing? Yes. You understand? And then the second thing I said about this project is where is the money coming from, isn't it? I've already said so. So if it is building it for the country and it is the taxpayers' money building it, I don't have a problem for that. Yeah?
Is it okay?
Now, so you go ahead now.
I mean, you
are not satisfied. You're not satisfied with the Odupong's answer.
No, not really.
You're not fully
But
satisfied. Okay, go on.
Dr. Moti, you see, the thing is,
Okay.
we live in a country where everything, nothing. I mean, look, NDC were not angels. Like Joe was saying, they're not angels. But on a scale, if you compare NDC and NPP, so one is an armed robber, one is a pickpocket. And look at the amount of atrocities that's gone on in this current administration. And they're still hanging on. If it's not for tribalism, do you think this government will stay in power by now?
What do you mean that they're still hanging on? You think they should have been gone?
They should have gone ages ago. When he came, the first 18 months, he should have gone. But he's still hanging on. It's mainly because of tribalism in Ghana. So if there's nothing, you name one thing that this man is touched and is smooth. It's like 100%. One, since he's been in power 2017. Just one that you say, oh, I can stick my neck out and say this is successful. They thumbs up for him. I mean, I've been when Odupong used to do his program. We used to.
If you're very familiar with this program, you would realize that over the years or over the few period of time we've been talking about. We've been pinpointing some of the things, whether the pickpockets have done or the thief have actually done. Now, what most people think is that at least one have done this and one has done what we call abstract development, if not physical structures like the streets and the jobs or the hospitals or healthcare facilities. I mean, which of these two would you say have done something you can lay hands on or point a finger at?
Oh, I mean, it's clear. It's crystal clear.
Well, when it comes to partisanship, I don't think anything is clear.
And you see, once you start talking on that level, everyone brands you as NDC or MPP.
So you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's clear. I mean, look at the stuff that the previous government did. I mean, everything was structured. Yes, of course, they were corrupt. There were no saints. But at least things were happening that you would see at least a light at the end of the tunnel. But now it's so bleak. I mean, from communication, even Mahama tried to introduce what is it called? This communication stuff right from home down to Accra. He was doing something that at least was helping with employment. But what is this government doing? It's taking people out and putting his own people in. So that duplication.
Well, if you ask this question, sorry to cut you. If you ask this, then obviously people will know which of these two armed robbers or pickpockets you're talking about, because you laying the facts. You understand, and we all understand where you're going. So why don't you let us know which of these two, whether the pickpockets or the armed robbers, have done well?
If a pickpocket comes to pick you, he will leave something for a wounded armed robber. He
will kill you. He'll kill you. Okay, so, I think you are right. You're very true.
I need to answer that.
All right. Thank you very much, Raymond, for calling you.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, you have a good day. Anyway, so Odupong, the man was hiding the truth, but at least we know where he was going.
Yeah.
Which of these two do you think is an armed robber, and then which of these do you think is a pickpocket?
Well, if I understand him properly,
from his point of view,
maybe the thieves were being referred to the NDC, and the robbers is being referred to the current regime, the NPP, and the current government. I think I've heard worse than that from a lot of Ghanaians who are not happy with what is going on in our country generally. And that's why I'm saying that we must also go back to basics. Because, yes, any government that has come into to ruling, they haven't performed as much as the people would want, but we've been changing from one party to the other, from one military regime to other regime and all that. We haven't succeeded to the level where the resources that we have can take us. Okay? Because when you look at the resources that we have as a nation and the abysmal government we've had over the years, right? It is saddening. And people are dying today not because they are not hardworking,
Right.
but they are dying because of the bad management, governance that we have.
Okay.
Both sides, as he rightly put it, robbers, thieves, whatever,
Pickpockets.
whatever you term it.
I think it's getting deadly than just using the leadership, related to these funny names we mentioned.
Yeah.
The people who are killing people in the daylight.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Ghana politics today, we've moved. There's been the politics of jealousy, politics of insults, policy of and contract killing in the country. Yeah, we're moving, as David said. It looks like moving to a point of desperation. Yeah, but it all has a source.
Where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from? Are we the owners of our own policies?
What do you mean?
Are we, the government, are they the owners of their own policy?
Well, I think that in as much as these people have upper hands over things we do, whether the initiatives they set across, we, as I said earlier, we have every reason to hold them accountable and say that, look, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is correct. We have to do it this way, or you have to give us reasons why you think we have to take this path. You understand? And so we play a role as well. That's why we say we have the thumbs to raise them to clear them where they are or to keep them where they are. And so the power somehow belongs to us to be able to see which man, which party, which individual, whether independent or not, that we want to keep in power to rule us. I've always said this, that Mr. Kofi Wayo, whether he's still alive or dead, sometimes he said very fascinating and very hard stuff to believe. But I remember the Tema oil refinery. He said something you barely believe this if he's been to school at all. He said, if things comes to work, let's put water in the Tema oil refinery. Then the same person makes a very sensitive and very important issue, which I believe is the right thing to do. He doesn't believe in begging for arms from the international communities and all that, which is true. So somebody like that, it's unfortunate some of his ideologies are not acceptable. We don't share the same sentiments, but some of the things he says is true. But unfortunately, we cannot get the ideas from everyone's head and put it together. Some might be wrong and some might be correct. So the country is not running like a headless chicken that has no control as shepherds. But we cannot sit down and look at things unfolding negatively just like that. Okay, so listen to what what's his name? Is it Mulumba? Is it the Lumumba?
Professor Lumumba.
He said those who have idea don't have the positions, and those who don't have the idea rather have these positions in Africa. It's just like football. All these Betty Pillies and the well-known people were able to, go through perhaps to have been well-known now. There are people who are not in Black Stars, people who are not in national team that are better than some of them. Odupong, do you agree with me?
Yeah.
It's just that they've had chances, they have the exposure.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, if you look at the time, it's coming up to almost about 11:45 where we bring the curtain on this Newsfile UK. You've been hearing from, first of all, you heard from David, who brought us the very latest development in Ghana. I've been here with Mr. Odupong. Our callers have expressed their griefs over some of the policies in Ghana, and then much concerned is whether what's his name, Oforata should go or not. And so we'll come back after a short break as we're here.
With my bottle of beer because we add it up to beer. We don't suffer past in Gaja of a cocoa. We got a piece of cocoa and our naira and cocoa. I know the open, I just the float to make good. Ever beludo, belly, guess if they have been a should do. Some get company, but them no fit as beg a 1 minute for ceremony. That's how they go, they throw away money. If that something, where money fit buy. In a talking with Ahmed, said the rich go live before go die. Before we be giant for Africa. We go create new states, make we be like America. The new states come drive, don't need to this come out. Get out there once where
Okay, so I've got Papa Smiley. Papa Smiley says, in what ways do the building of cathedral fit into the development of Ghana? When we get that clear, it may help us to decide. Mr. Odupong, does the cathedral develop the country in any facets at all? Now, this, as we said, what's the ideology of an individual who thought is an expression to God from bringing him to power?
Yeah.
So obviously, my answer is no, because the cathedral does me nothing. I mean, I have the church that I attend to every weekend.
Yes.
If building the church to please God is Akufo-Addo's ideology, well, so be it. But then it's his own idea, you know, and it's not as if we judged over it or juggled over this to have arrived in this idea. So how does the cathedral develop the country?
Well, I
if
mean,
it's not scooping all these thieves into the church to get repentance.
Is it this cathedral is a very
to get repentance
emotional issue to so many people. But at the end of the day, okay, a building is built. It will be built by people creating jobs. Yeah. People will go there and worship. Okay. It's not only Akufo-Addo who go there and worship. Okay.
You have your church that you go to.
Yeah, I have my church I go to.
And so you're not going to the cathedral?
I will. When it's done. Why not?
So don't let me believe you are part of the armed robbers or the pickpockets.
I am none. I have none.
At least one party is. So
you know, but the thing is, what must be done must be done. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Look, we cannot concentrate our GDP on one issue.
Okay.
Okay. Before the cathedral idea came in, we have bad roads for how many years? Look, when I travel to my village, and the driver was saying, "Oh, the MP said, the MP in my area said that, it is not an MP's job to build roads." So I didn't say anything. So in the end, I asked them in the discussion that if the MP says it's not the MP's job to create to build the roads, why do you keep
Okay, let me pick.
Yes.
Yes, Joe. Hello. Oh, I thought I had Joe again. Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, Doc.
Oh, yeah. You're live.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
Doc, can you hear me?
I can hear you live and clear.
Yeah. Sorry I had to come in again.
That's fine.
Yeah, I on this occasion, I also disagree with Mr. Odupong. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah?
Yes.
Odupong.
He's actually Mr. Odupong. The Odupong is his nickname.
Oh, okay, Mr. Odupong. Anyway, thanks for the correction. You see, like I earlier on said, the issue of the cathedral is a personal thing. Where it is wrong and is generating national conversation is the fact that when Akufo-Addo was making his vow we were not there. That's first point. Second point, we don't know who this God is. What if tomorrow he builds a cathedral for the nation and he becomes a curse on us? That is the second point. The third point is that.
Oh, dude. Joe has dropped the line. I hope he calls back.
Yes,
go on.
I think Joe misconstrued what I.
Yes. Yeah, Joe, you're back. Yeah, you're back on there.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that it was a personal thing. If Akufo-Addo, as president, His Excellency, is building it without using state funds, I have no problem with it, and nobody should have problem with it. But where we bring in alternatives, if you did economics, there is what we call scale of preference. And the scale of preference is where you arrange your order of things in the order of importance. What if to Akufo-Addo, in his scale of preference, the cathedral is his important thing and roads are not his important thing? So what then would you do? You see, let us not bring in that, the people are suffering. People have been suffering even when Jesus Christ came. Nobody has been able to solve every problem. So let us base the argument on the morality of the thing. The morality of it and the principality of it is that it was first not in the manifesto, which we say is a government machinery booklet that we would look at to kind of judge the government on. Was it in the manifesto? Was it a promise made by the MPP that was to form the government in 2017? If no, then he has no business doing it. He made his vow. He made his vow to his God. Only that God knows who this God is, and only that God knows what is going to happen to Ghana if that cathedral is built. But to bring in that there are people are struggling, people are this, people are that, people are that. There were people struggling. Somebody used money to brand the basket. You understand? So this is what I'm saying. That let us ask the right question. The right question is, Akufo-Addo, was this in your manifesto? No. So why are you forcing this through the neck of Ghanaians? It is not right.
Okay, Joe, stay on the line. Papa Smiley again said, let us assess the project on these variables: time, energy, space, and circumstances. Right. So I think with all these lineups, it's all in relation to whether or not the cathedral is important in the first place. Go on, please.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. What is important to you is not important to you. And that's why it's someone's poison is another one's meat. Yeah, if you read the argument of people calling the unions that are, the real strike, that people are calling the unions insensitive because there is a GCSE exam, there is Glastonbury, and other people will be going. And they say, look, if we were to go to strike in 10 years' time, it will still affect somebody.
That's it.
So you can't tell me that because of GCSE tomorrow, we cannot go on strike. So if we are to build, if even we are to go and use all the state money to bring Jesus Christ to come and solve our problem, it will still have a bad effect on someone, because that money we use in inviting Jesus Christ could have been used to help my father to have food to eat. Someone will talk. So that argument is neither here nor there. Who said we needed Terminal 3? Were there no bad roads when we went to build Terminal 3? Were there no people, not having jobs when we went to build Terminal 3? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
These are arguments. The point is that when a government, because look, doctor, when a government is trying to embark on a policy, it doesn't come to tell the whole Ghanaians that Ghanaians say, I'm coming to do this policy, so come and tell me your mind.
Okay.
It embarks on it as it deems fit.
I think I've got a message also on the Facebook. This is coming from Joe Emmanuel Nkrumah. It says, good morning.
And it's myself.
Oh, that's you wrote that. That's right. I was going to read that. So now you're putting it, you're spewing it here on the platform. Yeah.
So what I am saying is that, Doc, if you told God that, God, I want to work with BBC, and if you give me the chance to work with BBC, I will buy you a cow. It is your vow with your God. It is your personal statement.
This is what I'm saying.
Now, if you get a job with BBC, you have no business going to tell BBC management, give me money to go and buy a cow for God.
I think, Joe, Everybody is agreeing on the point you are making, and that is the point everybody, including myself, has made. But it looks like you take it further that because you heard it is Akufo-Addo, what do you call it? Akufo-Addo's way of thanking his God. That's why you are angry so much. Don't let us be angry because for me, I'm looking at it from the monumental point for the nation, or as a legacy for the nation, something built for the nation. The railways being built, constructed for the nation. You know, look at the after impact. What will the nation will benefit from, rather than one person's personal mind, you know. So
yeah, and Mr. Upon, I agree with you, but you see,
somebody's calling. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good.
I'd like to contribute to the program.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. May I know who's
Good
on the line, please?
Yeah. This is Ben speaking, actually.
Oh, hi, Ben. You're live on air. Sorry, Joe. I took Joe off because I should have told you first. Because I'm trying to get somebody else, because you have been on the line for some time. All right, Ben, you're live on air, sir.
Right. I first of all want to get something clear about this cathedral story. When Nana Addo came into power, this cathedral story did pop up.
Oh, is that my very Uncle Ben?
Sorry?
Yes. My very Uncle Ben. All right, cool.
Yeah. Yes. And we did talk about the use of public funds for private purposes. And that was the issue in contention. If any president or any minister comes into public office, we see you as a public servant, not as a lord. We also see you as somebody who would take permission to do things, which is why we have a parliament. How some people can see Nana Addo coming up with his own personal preferences over the use of public funds for this sort of, aggrandizement or for whatever other reasons, or for religious reasons of any type, is beyond me. Because normally we would look at every public officer, including the president, as somebody who we have mandated to do or to act on our behalf. That's if you say this is Ghana as a sovereign state. So Nana Addo will have been acting on behalf of everyone. Now, when it comes to matters relating to religion, beliefs, and all that kind of stuff, we expect the president to stay out of that sort of thing in public places, when he's talking publicly as a public servant.
Okay.
Now, for him to now say that he has a project, a religious project, he wants to build a cathedral, that is like laying a bad precedent. I don't know what everybody else think about it.
Oh, right.
Well, I think that's what we've condemned, that issue. That being a personal sort of thing, he should have used his personal money to do it. But however,
if he used his personal money, that shouldn't have come out as a public story for us to be talking about. Because
exactly.
If he does have a private project as a president, I guess while you're in office, you shouldn't be pushing any private projects while you're in office.
Anyway, now that I've gotten you, Uncle Ben, I have an issue I've made with the recent, whether it's to call it a civil war or what is happening lately in Nigeria. Have you been following this story?
Yes. Yes.
You want to break it down a little bit to us, please?
There isn't a civil war going on in Nigeria. What we have is the Nigerian state if I can call it that way, is entering into some new environment which we were not in before. We have a situation in Nigeria where we are waking up to the next level of the battle for Africa. It seems to be starting from Nigeria. Unfortunately, the rest of Africans are not privy to that. What we have in Nigeria at the moment, we have a rediscovery of Nigeria as in a land space where the foreigners can come in and dig in to the new resources, because the rest of the industrial world have come to a state where they need to move on to the next level. The next level to the industrial state in the world is, where are we going to get our next supplies of bitumen and bauxite and you name it? Nigeria is that place. To get into Nigeria, you have to destabilize Nigeria to start with. So that is where the story is coming from. But the real story that we are seeing, on the face value, is public disruptions, disobedience, and so on and so forth. And then the political system running haywire. Why? They wouldn't come to the public and tell you this is why we're having chaos, and this is why we're having disruptions, and this is why we're having a centralized system rather than region by region, governance. They need to have deals with these foreign big companies. Who's coming to do the mining? The mining industry in Africa is coming to a dead end because the original mining contracts have run out.
Right.
Nigeria never had any. We didn't have any. So it's the new place for these multinationals to move into. To move into Nigeria, you need to destabilize Nigeria.
Oh, excellent.
So
Thank
that's
you very
what
much.
we have at the moment.
Thank you very, very much. Honestly, okay, Odupong wanted to say something, Uncle Ben.
Yes.
Yes.
For the outside, what I call the environment, to get into Nigeria, Ghana, or any part of the African country, just like Somalia, we've seen recently what has been happening there, how America, President Biden has put American soldiers back to Somalia and also elected a new president who they can support. That sort of, until that sort of issue is dealt with by Africans, we are not going to have peace. That's what I'm talking about, for us to go back to basics. You see, we need to stop. We need to tell these foreigners that that notion that it's okay to come to our land and do what they like, and use our politicians as the school headmasters. Yeah?
Yes.
We need to put our foot down. We are no more school children for our schoolmasters. You understand? So if Nigeria can stand, because it's a big nation, and a nation which is respected by the international bodies, because they know they don't listen. So at least if this is the focus, that's what the focus they are going. If they can start it, which is very good, then the smaller countries will back it up, and then we get out of this mess we are in.
Okay. So if you're done, Uncle Ben, or you have something else to say, sir?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Yeah, I'm enjoying your show.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, right.
Oshikupo. Okay. Right. So I'm going to get Joe. Joe, for the sake of Joe, I'm going to get about 1 or 2 minutes added to it, because he wanted to say something. I picked him unceremoniously because I believe he has something to say. Okay. So where are you, Joe? And then we can wrap up the show because our time is almost up.
Yeah.
Yes. A copy. Yes, Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
I am trying to, refund the time that I took off from you by
Yeah.
making the other call. But you're live on air.
Yeah. I think
Finally.
I'm blessed because it looks like you are giving me, a better treatment, and I appreciate it.
Because
I'm really
I
blessed.
took the time of you when you were on air unceremoniously without
Oh, that's
prompting you that there was
I
another
will still
call
take
coming
it
in.
as a blessing.
Yeah,
I will
that's
still
fine.
take it as a blessing because I've been on. So yeah, thank you very much for
That's
the
fine.
opportunity once again. What I was trying to say is that we know this government is very, very smart, and they've got some intelligent people and all that. Like say Gabo, you write a whole Bible for you to read. So what I am trying to say is that in order not to give the likes of say Gabo to be writing their Bible and all that for us to read, when we bring in the issue of alternative and all that, there is you could have done this, they will get the opportunity to write. So let us tackle this issue with them, knowing how they are, knowing how cunning they are. Let us tackle with them with the question like, was this in your manifesto? This is the program you promised to lead Ghana on. Was the cathedral part of that manifesto? Do you understand? I think this ends the whole thing. And then I am expecting, if truly we all think that we could have built maybe a second Akosombo Dam and we didn't use the money to do that, and then we are using the money to build cathedral. If the project is so insensitive, if the project is so crazy, then I am expecting the NDC to tell me what it will do with the project and to tell me, issue a statement and tell me, don't come and tell me Sako Oforiatta because he is the son. Tell me, Oforiatta, this thing you are doing, you are a candidate for jail. Let me know. You understand? Don't come and tell me all this, and then next time when you inherit power, you tell me, oh, it was a nice project. Oh, I didn't know that. There was even air conditioning here. No. Issue a statement. Let Ghanaians understand that, look, we are against this. We are against it today. We are going to be against it when we assume office. And anyone involved in dishing out state money illegally, like Oforiatta has done, you are a candidate for jail. Then I would support it. Lastly, before I go, my uncle was saying we need to tell the white man, blah, 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 we are this. Look, me, I don't have a problem with the white man. I don't. I have a problem with us as Ghanaians. I have a problem with us as Ghanaians. How well have we been able to tell our leaders to let alone jump on the plane and come and tell the white man this, blah, 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 blah? How well have we told our leaders? You look at Nigeria, you were talking about Nigeria now. You cannot have electricity on for 24 hours in Nigeria. A country like that, so rich, so powerful, so populous, with minerals and all that. I have always said, if Africans are dying on the Mediterranean Sea and African Union is not seeing any agency in organized ways and measures to help stop these things, and then you tell me you want me to go and tell the white man what? No, please. If there is a fight, we need to fight with our leaders first. Let us, in our Bible say,
that's right.
The white man, in the olden days, a gun was put on us to ship us to Europe. Today, ask yourself, last time Kevin Taylor was organizing a program and he was asking people if there was a plane in Ghana with slave trade body written on it, would you join or would you not join? Go and listen to the people who are saying they will join the plane. They want to be taken as slaves. Now, Africans want to be taken as slaves. And you are telling me the people we want to come here today, the Ministry of Health is organizing and is advertising for health professionals to be taken to UK. If you are a nurse in Ghana, you want to come to UK, the Ministry of Health is advertising for that. And you are telling me I should go and tell the white man what? Thank you. The problems, that's why I get so passionate and I get so angry.
Bro.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Odupong, your last word, and then we off here.
Oh, yes. It's been a very good morning debate. I'll put it. Everybody has given their opinion as to what some of the issues are. And that's how it is got to go. That people have the chance to vent their opinion. Whether Kano Furiata has to go or not will depend on his cousin, His Excellency the President, because we've given so much power to the President.
Right.
And until the next election, they do what they please. We can only talk, but they do what they please. So we'll leave it here. We will continue tomorrow morning.
Okay, Odupong. Right. So we brought, or we have come to an end of our political show, what we term as Newsfile UK. We only have it Fridays between 9 and 12 o'clock. We're working on see if we can bring it almost every morning to you. But do have a good weekend. I wish you all the best. And then I'll see you shortly. Do have a good weekend.
Oh baby, pour me water, holy water, quench this fire. Pour me water, holy water, make it quench this fire. Everybody want me, make I no fall in love with you, but I no answer them. I tell them say na you. Right now you come and then you play me for a fool. I'm out here wondering, waiting I do. Yeah, baby, pour me water, holy water, quench this fire. Yeah. Pour me water, holy water, kill this fever. Every night, but I take it on you. The thing you do me, they do me kung fu. This thing I see, I'm be deja vu. Every night, but I take it on you. The thing you do me, they do me kung fu. This song I sing, I better it be for you, only you. Pour me water, holy water, cool my fever. Just pour me holy water, make it quench my fever. Baby girl, you're my desire. I no believe you run away, but you shoot yourself like the Dana. You do me love, you run away to hello. I say, now you call me up. Now money be fine, bubba. You told me that much you got done. Baby, me, femi, your girl. I bet now you call me up. Now money be fine, bubba. You told me that much you got done. Baby, me, femi, your girl. I don't want to go. I just want to fuck you, don't oh my God. Butterfly na la balaba.